Mike Florio also talked about how the suspension will be different than what we have heard in the court of public opinion.
That's what happens. You've got the allegations that are made, you've got the court of public opinion that reacts, but then at some point, somebody wearing a black robe has to decide what is the law and what are the facts and how do they intersect. And if you don't have evidence of actual assault, if you can't prove, and the NFL's got the burden here, if you can't prove that an assault happened, you go 0 for 5 in your effort to get to the baseline 6-game suspension. You don't even get close to a year. See, there'd been a loose sense, and I fault Deshaun Watson's camp for not effectively creating the narrative and pushing back and explaining to reporters and providing smoking gun evidence that helps show that some of these cases may not be very strong. This is on them. When Tony Busby was scoring body blow after body blow in the court of public opinion, and Watson's camp wasn't doing anything other than saying, oh, there's no crime in seeking a happy ending. I mean, you need something better than that to convince people.
With that, let's welcome in Fred Greetham, senior analyst for the Orange and Brown Report. Fred, appreciate the time and the insight. From what we've heard, and again, everybody nationally has their sources, but from what we have heard, has your thoughts changed at all about what went on with that 3-day hearing for Deshaun Watson in the disciplinary hearing that went on in Delaware?
Well, David, thanks for having me on. Not really. I mean, I just think that, the information that's come out is obviously appalling, disgusting to talk about. None of us really want to talk about it. I think when we were on before with you not too long ago at minicamp, kind of the same thing, that like he was talking about the court of public opinion is really driven up to the point where the NFL is very cognizant of their how they come out in the court of public opinion because of the Ray Rice and some of these other things in the past. So what you have here is they're trying to thread the needle. They want some punishment so Watson doesn't come out scot-free, but by the same token, you brought in an arbitrator that you hired hearing their first case, and if she's judging it on the facts of the case presented by the NFL, like we said before, it's lose-lose for everybody. But I think what Florio, my biggest takeaway is he was very anti-Watson, and everything that it seemed like I was reading from his camp was that he's out indefinitely, he's out for over a year. The commissioner should put him on the exempt list. And just recently, now, obviously his source is somebody he trusts very well, and he's from the Watson side of things, I would assume. He's not hearing the NFL side of things. But, yeah, I mean, he laid it out there, that's what you have. The criminal investigation, there was no indictments, and now you have a lot of numbers, and that's the thing everybody comes back is, well, there's 24, and I think with these most recent allegations that the Busby brought up with HBO and all these things, just kind of a constant drip, it just seemed overwhelming that the NFL has to do something. They leaked out, that they were pushing for indefinite over a year. I think that wasn't by accident, because if the judge comes back with less than, say, well, we wanted this, but we got to go with what the judge says. But the fine line here is she could say no suspension and there's nothing they can do about it. Or if they come out in the 6 to 8 game range, the NFL then, if it's appealed, can up it for a full season. So it really, I don't think anybody really knows right now. It could be nothing to a indefinite suspension. So everything's on hold until the courts separate it out.
Yeah, and really, you can't think about the Browns until you figure out how long is Watson going to be your quarterback if he's going to be your quarterback? And then what happens with Baker? You know, the dominoes fall after the decision is rendered and we know how long Deshaun Watson is quarterback.